night. So the Maoist challenge is staring a billion population as well as the central government and so many state governments in the face. It remains to be seen whether all of them put together can evolve a comprehensive strategy to tackle the Maoist menace. We'll simmer to a break now, but remember you can catch all the latest news from the world of politics, sports and business at DD News Twitter handle. It is DD News Live round the clock. Thanks for watching. Ordinance route to enact the food security law. It has decided to seek political consensus on passing the bill in a special session of Parliament. JDU alliance in Bihar is on life support. The BJP leadership has refused to backtrack from its decision to have Narendra Modi front their 2014 campaign, and the JDU does not like doesn't look like it is in a conciliatory mode. And perhaps the clearest indication of a break-off was Nitish Kumar's open talk of a third front.
BJP patriarch L.K. Advani
has assured of further economic reforms in the near future. He favoured the Chandrasekhar panel report to encourage foreign investment and said that the SEBI board will meet on the 25th of this month to take up the issue.
Encouraged by the
Minister P. Chidambaram discussed the draft affidavit on autonomy for CBI. Significantly, while Attorney General G. Vahanbati was part of the meeting for a second time, the CBI director has reportedly not been invited so far. Speaking to reporters, Law Minister Kapil Sibal indicated that no major changes were discussed, though there were minor gaps that needed to be filled. Remember, a group of ministers headed by Finance Minister P. Chidambaram was set up to suggest a plan to ensure autonomy of the Central Bureau of Investigation. This came after the Supreme Court reprimanded the central government for influencing the CBI in the coal allocation scam probe.
Whatever it is that we have had a meeting for 1 hour in the group of ministers, and we have discussed the contours of the affidavit that is to be filed in the Supreme Court and the proposal for amendments that are to be made, which will be sent to give.
Take a look at what else is making news across the country.
Suraj Pancholi has been remanded.
One of the world's largest railway systems is going mobile. IRCTC, the subsidiary of the Indian Railways that handles ticketing, will begin offering train tickets via SMS messaging from July.
Keeping an eye on the growing mobile phone market in India, Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation or IRCTC will launch a SMS-based ticketing from 1st of July. A dedicated number will be announced soon for this. As per the requirement, one has to register. Announceable, Delhi.
On to our second top focus tonight. The US's top spy body, the National Security Agency, has justified its cyber snooping. It says looking into people's telephone and internet activity worldwide has helped it foil dozens of terror attacks, even hunt down 2611 plotter David Coleman Headley. Few are willing to take America at its word, but India is now putting its own version of a cyber security apparatus in place. Will it be any different from what is there in the United States in the levels of surveillance? This report looks into that.
America's cyber
snooping by United States. The big question we are asking tonight is, should national security get primacy over individual privacy? To discuss that, we are joined by Ravi Vishwashraya Prasad, who is an IT and telecom expert, and also Saikat Datta, editor, DNA Delhi. I'll welcome you both to Newsnight. Let me begin with you, Mr. Prasad. There is concern in India as to how much individual privacy has been compromised in this process and whether it has been compromised at all. Do you think that this US surveillance program has impacted the average telecom user and web user?
Well, in India, governments have been spying on citizens ever since tapping and electronic surveillance and email surveillance. First, the Indian Telegraph Act of 1885, Clause 5.2, and later the Information Technology Act of 2000 as amended in December 2008, Section 69 and 69A. But emails have been snooped upon from the very beginning. In fact, when the ISPs were set up in 1996-97, one of the clauses in the Internet Service Providers contract was that they would add the international gateways allow the intelligence agencies to tap every single email, and in fact it had to be done at the cost of the ISP, and these emails had to be stored for a particular period of time. Encryption beyond 40 bits was not allowed. So certainly all these were there in the ISP policy and the license agreement.
But what about the average user?
Well, what is happening is that for the last couple of years, you are having off-the-air interceptors which spoof a base station of a cellular service provider, and they tap each and every single phone conversation within that radius of say 3-4 kilometers. So certainly this is absolutely illegal, but it's being done by intelligence agencies, security agencies and the police, where these off-the-air interceptors are randomly sweeping telephone conversations.
I'm not very sure because any laws in India have been violated, because India currently does not have any privacy laws. It does not have any institutional protection for its citizens, even from domestic agencies, forget about foreign intelligence agencies. As far as the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act is concerned, I mean, the act was designed for the American agencies to snoop on citizens across the world, and in fact after 9/11, the Americans also went around their existing laws to start snooping on American citizens as well. So where is the question of any protection for any citizen, whether in America or abroad, from American intelligence agencies?
All right, you are saying there is no protection insofar as privacy is concerned. Would you say that there is then a need of a standalone right to privacy legislation in our country?
Well, a Privacy Act has been pending for several years now, but the intelligence agencies are opposing it. And in fact, your right to privacy, there are Supreme Court judgments which say that there is a right to privacy which flows from the right to life and liberty. And
it's a derived right.
It's a derived right, but they've only said that you have privacy against the state snooping into questions of your personal life, your personal relationships, your family, and that's about it, because everything else is public information. The Supreme Court in one of its judgments, I think in the Auto Shankar case,
means snooped on, or were just patterns tracked?
No, private information has been snooped upon, and all governments are doing this. For instance,
has the content of my email been snooped?
Yes, I would say so. I would say so. See, if you look at snooping, the USA has been doing it in since 1950s, in violation of its own laws, because you had Project Ekman recording every single international phone call that went via satellite. Now, and India has also been doing the same. India was doing it on a random basis. Now it's become more systematic. But everybody spies on everybody else. I mean, in India you're having government departments spying on each other. Recently, the National Informatics Center accused the National Technical Research Organization of breaking into its computers and snooping on the emails of the departmental officers.
Mr. Datta, now what the government is planning to do is, it is planning to set up a National Cyber Cooperation Center. Only last week the government has finalized a national cyber security policy. The National Security Advisor has recommended that the government as well as the private sector should collaborate and train some 5 lakh cyber security personnel in 5 years. Do you think now finally systems are being put in place in order to protect the cyber and telecom space and our strategic assets?
No, I think it's the opposite which is happening. In fact, it is going to make citizens, but now what is going to happen is, by trying to coordinate efforts, you will make the government much more efficient into intruding into citizens' private space. You see, what is happening today is that on one hand, I mean, in many ways India is a very strange case, because on one hand there is no constitutional or even legal protection for citizens' privacy, while on the other hand, when it comes to intelligence agencies,
still remains as to whether individual privacy should be given precedence over national security, or should it be the other way around, or should both be protected in certain ways. Time for a short breather on DD News. We will be right back. Please don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Let's now take a look at what's making headlines across the world. The News Night tonight, but please do share your feedback with us on the show. Our Twitter handle is DD News Night. Thanks for watching.